Welcome back. Here's a quick recap of the key events of The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 2 to refresh your memory or catch you up. Susannah's death casts a shadow over everyone. In flashbacks, Jeremiah, hurt by Belly, choosing Conrad, warns her Conrad will break her heart. In another flashback, she suggests Conrad pausing their relationship for him and Jeremiah to focus on Susannah's cancer. He agrees but insists she keep his infinity necklace. Their break doesn't last as late night calls keep them close. In the present, Belly's grades are failing and she hesitates about a grad party. Steven's graduation gift from Susannah, a note and care package, upsets Laurel. Steven's valedictorian speech inspires Belly to attend volleyball camp and the graduation party. At the party, Taylor gushes over Milo, who performs poorly, and Steven's failed crowd surf knocks Belly over. Trying to move on from Conrad, Belly misreads a classmate's signals. She fights with Steven, accusing him of ignoring Susannah's death. He calls her selfish for hurting both brothers. In a flashback, Conrad visits in October, saying he's not over her, and they kiss. In the present, Belly cries, driving home. Laurel, reading Susannah's note, agrees to a book event. Belly, feeling alone, calls Jeremiah, who answers because Conrad's missing, hoping he's with her. At Christmas, Belly sneaks out to meet a smiling Conrad, who gives her his coat to stay warm. In the present, she takes a bus to Brown to find Jeremiah, who's cold and snarky, upset she never visited Conrad's dorm. Conrad's roommate reveals he was depressed after their breakup. Belly and Jeremiah learn Conrad's at Cousin's Beach. Belly finds her infinity necklace under his laptop. On the drive, a flat tire sparks a fight. Jeremiah yells about her hooking up with both brothers, and she apologizes for neglecting him during Susannah's illness. They hug, and he breaks down. At Rosie's, they run into Nicole, highlighting how the beach has changed. Meanwhile, Steven's thrilled Laurel's doing her book event. Steven catches Belly lying about being with Taylor, who's actually at a bookstore. Taylor admits Belly and Jeremiah are searching for Conrad. In a flashback, Belly and Conrad arrive at the beach house, build a fire, make cocoa, and frolic in the snow. They kiss by the fire, get intimate, and Belly whispers to a sleeping Conrad, "There's only you." Back in the present, Conrad reveals the beach house is being sold and coldly asks why Belly's there. Belly and Jeremiah try to save the Cousins Beach House, now owned by Aunt Julia after Susannah's death. Julia, who skipped the funeral, plans to sell and shuts down their pleas with an open house set for tomorrow. Conrad wants to use his trust fund to buy the house, feeling its loss like losing his mom again. Belly and Jeremiah stay to support him, knowing he pushes people away in crises. In a flashback, Conrad ditches Belly at prom, and in the rain, she returns his infinity necklace, ending their relationship. Steven, upset about being left out, lies to Taylor, saying he's needed in Cousins. Taylor joins him, grabbing clothes for Belly, but clarifies her summer fling with Steven meant nothing. They argue about Milo, and Taylor calls out Steven's attitude. At the house, Conrad asks Belly to stay, calling it her house too. A funeral flashback shows Conrad singing Last Kiss, breaking down when he sees Belly. At the wake, she finds him with his ex, Audrey, leading to a fight where he calls their relationship a mistake, and she says she never wants to see him again. Belly falls while storming out, seeing Laurel's disappointment. Back in the present, Conrad's dad, Adam, rejects using their trust for the house. Steven and Taylor arrive with pie, misreading the mood. The group watches it happen one night, vowing to disrupt the open house, while Conrad slips out, struggling with a panic attack as Steven follows. Conrad's panic attack on the beach, triggered by his Stanford acceptance, is calmed by Steven's surfing memory. Conrad hasn't told Jeremiah about Stanford not wanting to leave him alone. The next morning, Aunt Julia and Sky prepare the beach house for an open house. Despite its sentimental value, Julia, living on the West Coast, can't afford to keep it. The open house is canceled due to a broken AC, so the kids, Belly, Jeremiah, Conrad, Steven, Taylor, and Sky, head to the boardwalk. Belly hopes to charm Sky to change Julia's mind. The boardwalk brings back memories of past tournaments, Belly's heartbreak with Conrad at 13, and family tensions between Susannah and Julia. The group holds a new tournament with laser tag and go-karts, reuniting with Cam, now an arcade worker. Sky opens up, recalling a Christmas fight between their moms. Steven reveals to Belly that their mom went to the New York Booksellers Convention after all. In New York, Laurel meets Cleveland, venting about helping Belly grieve. Belly's team loses, so she rides the Tower of Terror with Jeremiah, sparking romance as they hold hands. Back at the house, they discover all the furniture is gone, leaving it empty. Jeremiah narrates, sharing his unrequited love for Belly and grief over Susannah's death. The beach house is empty after Aunt Julia had movers clear it out for the sale, with their dad's approval. Devastated, the group sneaks into the country club to sleep thanks to Cam's mom's ID. While Belly pairs off with Conrad, Jeremiah recalls a flashback where he reluctantly gave Conrad permission to date Belly, despite his own feelings. In the present, Belly joins Jeremiah in the screening room where they make shadow puppets and reminisce about Susannah. Stephen and Taylor flirt in the debutante ballroom, dancing to Moon River until interrupted. In a Thanksgiving flashback, Jeremiah envied Conrad and Belly's romance. Conrad, inspired by a friend, contacts a lawyer to access his trust fund to buy the house. During a truth or dare game on the golf course, Sky dares Belly to kiss Jeremiah, but he declines, later confessing he's afraid he couldn't stop if he kissed her. A flashback shows Susannah comforting Jeremiah about his feelings for Belly, urging him not to let it divide him and Conrad. Belly reveals she watched Jeremiah's graduation, touching him. The next morning, Conrad's plan to use his trust fund fails. Julia has already sold the house. The beach house is sold to a family, and Aunt Julia demands Conrad and Jeremiah's keys. Sky, enjoying time with their cousins, stays behind as Julia leaves, suspecting her mom's selling to escape painful memories. A flashback reveals Shitmas, where Julia felt unwanted by her stepmother, causing a rift with Susannah. Belly throws a goodbye party for the house, inspired by Susannah's past rager. Jeremiah struggles, calling the house his safe place. He and Belly splash in the pool, nearly holding hands, but she leaves for a supply run with Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly secures liquor from Jumper, and at Party City, she apologizes to Conrad for the funeral, learning he had a panic attack with Aubrey, not a romantic moment. Sky and Cam fetch party gear, and Cam shares his fears about leaving his mom for college, deciding to join a whaling internship after Sky's encouragement. At the party, Belly falls into Jeremiah's arms, and he flirts, saying she doesn't need to get hurt for his attention. Sky kisses Cam, while Steven admits feelings for Taylor, but her boyfriend Milo starts a fight, which Taylor ends by dumping him. Jeremiah confronts Conrad for giving up on the house, and Belly, who overhears and argues with Conrad on the beach. Taylor kisses Steven post-breakup. Sky's mom texts that the buyers will let the Fishers rent the house 1 week yearly, but Conrad rejects it. The party trashes the house, and a drunk Belly calls Laurel, sobbing for help, revealing she's at the beach house. Laurel arrives at the trashed beach house after Belly's drunken call, furious to learn Belly lied about staying at Taylor's. Their confrontation escalates. Belly accuses Laurel of neglecting her and the Fisher brothers since Susannah's funeral, and Laurel slaps her, instantly regretting it. Conrad and Jeremiah overhear, and Jeremiah comforts Belly, who says there's nothing left with Conrad, though he hints otherwise. Laurel learns the house is sold, upsetting Steven and Conrad, who feel she failed them. Laurel admits she's been hiding her grief and reconciles with Belly. She invites Julia, who reveals her pain over Susannah's cancer letter and not attending the funeral. Laurel convinces Julia to cancel the sale, and after some resistance, Adam agrees to buy the house by selling their Boston home. Conrad apologizes to Jeremiah for overlooking his pain, and they vow to communicate better. Conrad reveals his Stanford acceptance, but plans to stay at Brown. Jeremiah insists he pursue Stanford and organizes a group study session for Conrad's bio final. Belly tries to confess her feelings for Jeremiah to Conrad, but he falls asleep. At Finch, Jeremiah shows Belly around, and she imagines attending. In the parking lot, Belly asks Jeremiah for a second chance, promising commitment. They kiss, but Conrad sees, looking confused. Belly admits she's fallen out of love with Conrad and into love with Jeremiah, but Conrad accuses her of kissing Jeremiah to make him jealous. On the drive home from Brown, Conrad taunts them, questioning who's the better kisser, trying to prove he knows Belly best. Jeremiah demands they address Conrad's lingering feelings to avoid past mistakes. A storm strands them in a motel room with Belly on the bed and the brothers on the floor. At night, Conrad confesses his love, saying she doesn't need to respond. In the morning, Jeremiah returns with breakfast, promising not to ghost her, and they kiss. Conrad retracts his confession, giving Belly back her infinity necklace, claiming their relationship is truly over. He asks to stay friends and leaves for cousins, but breaks down outside. Steven faces tension with Taylor, who's distant after her ex Milo's diss album about him. He visits her before volleyball camp, and she admits she's scared of her feelings for him. They reconcile. Laurel, encouraged by Cleveland, attends a Brooklyn writer meetup, connects with a fan, and reads from her memoir about Susannah. Belly joins volleyball camp, earns her spot back, and shines on the court with Jeremiah watching, wondering if this is her future. And here's the big question that's got fans buzzing. Did Belly make the right choice, picking Jeremiah over Conrad, or is she setting herself up for more heartbreak? Let us know what you think.